1110 KFAB.
Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where we fix them, we make them. You know, we do just about everything with them. Literally this week has been insane in the service centers. We expected to see some uptick when the stimmy checks started to hit. We didn't expect to basically sell out of every computer in the house, which is literally what happened. It's fun times because, as you guys know, we've talked about this several shows, there's a chip shortage going on. And we were able to, through the magic of scouring the earth, no joke, I've ordered computers from Australia, I've ordered computers from Canada, and you got to check the keyboards, because if you get the keyboards in every country are different. So sometimes you get some funky looking keyboards and now this is the French keyboard. And so we buy the laptop, we get the French keyboard, then we go online and we buy a replacement English keyboard for that computer and we swap the keyboard. I mean, we're doing some crazy stuff to make sure that we have computers in stock, especially computers at an affordable price point, the sub $1,000 computers, to make sure that there's something for people to buy, right? Literally the last 3 days, we got completely cleaned out. The guys in Papillion are working their fingers to the bone. I was in Papillion last week. My operations manager, Parker, was in Papillion last week, along with all three of the guys. And literally, the owner of the company is sitting here building computers. We had a customer come in. He's like, it's good to see the owner of the company willing to get in there and get some work done. And I'm like, well, not much choice. We need computers to sell. So, this is what happens, right? So lots of computers going out the door right now, and lots of repair work going on too. We're upgrading a lot of people to solid state hard drives. A lot of customers are trying to upgrade their own computers, and they're jumping online. I saw an article, and I was going to save this for the aftershock, but it's so stupid. I just want to share it's dumb. Cheap. This is from ZDNet. Cheap but good. How to build a budget PC for $400 or less. I clicked the link because I'm like, hey, we're having trouble building anything for $400 or less right now, given these prices, okay? And so then they go down the list. Well, here's a Ryzen 3 processor. Well, that's what we put in the Endeavor. And here's a gigabyte motherboard. Oh, that's a nice looking motherboard. And here's 8 gigs of RAM. This is looking like an Endeavor build here. And then we get to the power supply. Yep. Well, theirs is a little weaker. Theirs is 400 watts. We use a 450. Storage, Western Digital 1 terabyte mechanical hard drive. And I'm like, really? Did the budget run out right there? Like, this computer's going to run like dog. It's going to be bad. Why are you doing this? Yeah. So anyway, it's the stuff that people are doing right now, the stuff that people are saying about, hey, you can build a computer really, really cheap. All you have to do is grab these parts and grab those parts and everything is going to be good to go. That's not true. In fact, when you go down and purchase a computer for less than $500 right now, this computer that I described to you is what you're getting. That's not what we do at Schrock. So it's been a real challenge for us to keep these computers in stock, to make sure that we're meeting the standards. Graphics cards. We had a customer come into the Des Moines Service Center yesterday saying, hey, I want to add 3 ventures to my fleet. or 2 ventures. I bought 3 before from you for my office, and they're amazing machines for my employees. So I want to add 2 more. And literally, I'm like, it strikes fear. Like, we sold 2 computers today. Where am I going to find the graphics cards? And these aren't gaming cards. These aren't mining cards. These are just regular old graphics cards. So you heard Ford idled production in some of their plants here recently. They're partial building cars, which is what we do when we can't find a certain part. The guys are standing around, well, we don't have all the parts to build that one, Mr. Schrock. Well, guess what? Let's partial build it. Let's build everything that we can build except for that one little part we need. And when that part gets here, boom, 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 they're out the door, right? That's what Ford is doing with trucks right now, because they can't get the microchips for the computers. My headset in my truck, the stereo head, which operates a ton of stuff in the truck, has a couple times where it operates a little funky or doesn't quite. It looks like it's bad storage chips, that it's hesitating. I'm under warranty. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to put a marker down. I'm going to say, I'm having this problem. I want to make an appointment to look at it when you have a head unit to replace it next year when I'm out of warranty. That's how stupid things are getting. You have a freezer that breaks. You call the repair guy. He comes out and says, oh, your freezer needs a new main board. We can't get those, so you better just go buy a new freezer. So you go to the mart and you look at freezers, they have two. And they don't make 21 cubic foot freezers anymore. I'm not joking. The lovely Kimberly and I had to buy a commercial grade freezer for our house. Now we love it. It's amazing. Or we're like, oh, this is a really nice. It's got 4 doors on it. I mean, it looks very Nancy Pelosi. I mean, it's nice. But it was cheaper than the tiny little refrigerator that we freezer that we would have purchased from the mart. And it's all stainless steel, and it's commercial. It's a little loud. It kicks on, you hear it, but it keeps everything frozen. So it's pretty crazy stuff. So guys, last week, if you missed the show last week, I want to remind you that you can watch the show anytime on our website at schrockinnovations.com. The video and audio are both posted there. You can also subscribe through any podcasting service, including iTunes. But last week, if you missed it, go back and take a look. It was a really good show. We explained the difference between 5G, 5 gigahertz, and 2.5 gigahertz. So, which band should you use for what devices? What do they mean? Why do you have one and not the other? Or if you have 5 gigahertz, do you have 5G? We explained it all. So if you missed that one and it's something you're curious about, check it out. It's a new segment we're doing called Back to Basics. And whenever we have a light news day where there's not a lot of interesting stories to talk about, which is today, for example, lots of huge financial stories, mergers and acquisitions and Microsoft Teams adding new features and all kinds of stuff you don't care about. All through the news, and I'm not going to waste your time with it here. So we have another segment we're going to do today in the Back to Basics series as well to help educate you on a couple other things there. But last week we also told you what was coming with the new release of the 2.1 H1 Windows 10 update. So that's 2021 half 1, 2.1 H1. That's going to be coming next month. And so we're going to have more to say about that in weeks ahead to make sure you get your computer ready for that. But if you missed that one, you might want to give that a listen there as well. We also shared the shockingly despicable act of holding your Coors Light and your Miller beer hostage. Yes, ransomware attacks on breweries are on the rise. For real. Bread and circuses, that's all we ask for. Bread, circuses, and stimulus checks, that's all we want. And you're going to take our beer away? Yeah, it was a fun show last week, guys. So we told you all about that. Now, today on the show, we have an equally good one planned for you. The ultimate upgrade is flying along. I was able to secure additional processors for the desktop models, and I was able to secure additional units for the laptop models. We are literally selling them hand to mouth at this point. As soon as we get them in, they're flying out the door. So we're building them as quick as we can in Papillion. If you do buy one, you might have to wait a couple days to get it, and I apologize for that. We're really trying to have them in stock so you can take them home with you the day you buy them. But if we don't, we'll get them completed just as quickly as possible for you. Back to basics segment today. Battery do's and don'ts. I feel like we've talked about this before on the show, but anytime I'm in the service center, almost every day, somebody comes in and asks me about like a battery, like what should I do? Should I leave it plugged in? Should I not leave it plugged in? And usually it's like a husband and wife team. And I'm worried that I'm going to ruin a marriage, you see, because one of them feels strongly that you should leave it plugged in all the time. The other one feels strongly that you should only plug it in when it's dead. And they both think they're right. And they're like, Thor, you decide. And it's like all of a sudden I'm the judge. And I'm like, why am I in this position? And so I ask, who makes the purchase decisions in your family for new computers? And they say, well, she does. And I'm like, well, ma'am, you're correct. No, I don't. I tell people the truth about what's going on with batteries. So we're gonna save some marriages today. So everybody hold your opinions. Don't share them with your significant other, because if you're wrong, someone's gonna be like, nee, 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 and I told you so, and then it's no fun for anybody. So we're gonna tell you about that. Also, in the middle of a chip shortage, you know what I would do if I was a chip maker? In the middle of a shortage, I would introduce a new processor. That's so cool. So you know what happened? AMD this week announced new processors for professionals because, they're actually really nice processors. My guess is they're going to cost a little bit more, but they're smoking fast. They blow Intel out of the water yet again on different performance metrics than the older Ryzen processors are blowing Intel still out of the water on. Poor Intel, they really got to do something to come back from this. They're going to have a new architecture change or something, because AMD, from a processor and a graphics perspective, is absolutely slaughtering Intel. So it's something to definitely look at. That's why all of our computers for a long time have come with AMD chips. They're more upgradable. The computer you bought from us 4 or 5 years ago, I can take out that old AMD chip, put in a new one. I just upgraded my holiday special desktop at home for the 3rd time. Literally, just Oh, new generation chip. Take out the old, stick in the new, little BIOS update, and wow, here we go. I got a faster computer. Look at that, 30% quicker, and all I did was change one part. Gotta love this modular. Whoever invented that system is a genius. It's like Legos for grown-ups. It's awesome. So anyway, and also, Netflix is going full-on kindergartner. They are not going to share. They don't want you to share. They're not going to share. No sharing happening. In the sharing economy, we are not sharing. We're going to tell you what you're going to start seeing potentially on your screens when you try to log into your Netflix account coming up on the show as well. All right, so coming up, guys, I want to warn everybody, install Drive Advisor. The failure rate on hard drives has ticked up again by a 0.5 percentage point. I know that sounds insignificant. Keep in mind, this is an all-time historical number. Well, how we get this number is we go to driveadvisor.com, where we have all the statistics on every drive that's ever been scanned by Drive Advisor, all the drives that have ever been detected as failing drives by Drive Advisor, and then we divide the numbers, and we come up with a percentage of drives, aggregate, that, total scanned, total bad. It is 14.95% today. So darn near 15% of the hard drives in computers right now, so 15% of those of you listening to my voice right now who don't have Drive Advisor already have a failing hard drive in your computer and you don't even know it. Now, one of the things that we talk about on the program, guys, is, I don't like to badmouth other companies. I really don't, because, everybody has opinions about every company, and, I don't want people to badmouth us, so I'm going to keep it nice. But here's the thing. If you're in the business of selling computers, Schrock is a service business. We're in the business of finding solutions that work for our customers. Sometimes that's a new computer. Most of the time it's a repair or an upgrade. But if you are in the business exclusively of selling new computers, if you are Dell or HP or Asus or any of the brands, Toshiba, Acer, any of the brands, the one thing you want people to do is buy new computers, which is what my HP that I'm using to stream the show right now pops up a message on my screen. This thing is 2.5 years old. Pops up a message on the screen that says parts for your computer are no longer available. Consider upgrading to one of these awesome computers. What do you mean parts are not available? I can go to HP Part Surfer right now, look up the part number for a part I need, and find it online. The parts are totally available. So I don't know what you're talking about. It's just trying to get me to buy a computer. So why would manufacturers disable the smart notifications that are in the computers already to warn you when your hard drive starts failing? Anybody, any ideas? Bueller? Any ideas? So you don't know your hard drive's dying within the warranty period. So you don't send it back for a warranty replacement. Because guess what? If your hard drive is going bad, if Drive Advisor tells you it's bad, you bring it into the shop, we tell you it's bad, you still can't send it back under warranty until it actually fails completely. So it has to go to the point where the computer won't function before they'll replace it under warranty. So Drive Advisor can help you understand when a drive failure is coming, so you can prepare for it with a backup, for example. You should be backing up anyway, but you can prepare with a backup. You can go through and do any of the things that you need to do to make sure your important data are safe and secure. Then, if you choose to, you can bring it into us, and if we catch it early, which is what Drive Advisor does, we can usually clone everything off that, copy it off the old hard drive, put it on a new hard drive, faster hard drive, and stick that in your computer, and you're good to go. And the computer's faster than it ever was, making it so you don't have to buy a new one. So, understand when you're doing business with companies that companies have agendas. We have an agenda too. Our agenda is making sure that we give you the absolute best possible service that we can give you at Schrock, to make sure that when you come in with a computer problem, you leave us with a solution, whether you come in on the Schrock desk over the internet, whether you come in off of Facebook Messenger from our website, whether you come in through email, or whether you walk through the front door. We want to make sure that you're leaving that interaction smarter, better, faster, safer than you were when you came in. That's what we do. That's our agenda. Yes, we have products and services that get you to that point. Drive Advisor is one of the freebies. It's free. It costs nada, nothing, zip, zilch, nothing. So go to driveadvisor.com, driveadvisor, E-R, because it's made in America. Driveadvisor.com. Download a copy on your computer. It's a program completely made by Schrock. We are the only ones that ever have any interaction with it. We don't sell your information to anybody. That's not our business. That's not what we do. We're the computer people that you trust. Selling your info doesn't really generate much trust. All right, number to join us on the program today, 888-250-2091. If you ask a question, make a comment, just be a part of the program, we'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate, good for anything your heart desires in the service center. We just literally add it to your Schrock account. So the next time you walk in the door, you got $25 in credit. It's pretty cool. So just give us a call, 888-250-2091. We'll get you in that drawing there. Also, we are streaming the show live right now on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. That's facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Please do click like and follow and click as many things as you can so that Facebook gets it through its thick head that when the show is live, you actually want to see it. We all know how that works with the feeds. We have 3,200 people that like the show, and I think 6 of them get a notification if we don't throw money at Facebook, which, of course, that's the game, so you have to do it. But definitely check out the show there. You can watch us live. You can also watch the archive video on our website, SchrockInnovations.com. All right, got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to let you know a quick update on the Ultimate Upgrade Special that's going on right now at Schrock, and also back to basics, battery do's and don'ts, coming up next on Compute This.
Now you can configure and purchase laptops, desktops, tablets, and more, all at the new SchrockInnovations.com. Check out our specials for one-of-a-kind discounts and deals.
Welcome to Schrock Innovations. How can I help you today?
I'm having a problem with my computer.
You're at the right place. We fix problems with computers.
That's why I'm here.
What seems to be the problem with your computer?
When I press the power button, it doesn't boot up. How fast can you fix it?
We're the fastest computer fixer in Omaha. We'll fix it fast.
How fast?
Real fast. Do you have it plugged in when you turn it on?
Of course it was plugged in. Do people make that mistake a lot?
You'd be surprised. When you press the power button, what happens?
It roars, then stops and sits.
Ooh, like a lion?
Like a what? Well, I suppose.
Sounds like a bad power supply, sir.
Is that bad?
It's not good, but we can fix it fast.
How fast?
How's that for fast?
Does it work?
Yes, sir. More purring, less roaring now.
Wow, that was fast.
Schrock Innovations is the fastest computer repair in Omaha, sir.
That's great, but all this talking is making me hungry. You guys sell sandwiches?
We do fast computer repair. If you want a fast sandwich, you have to go someplace else. Why would we sell sandwiches?
I don't know. All this fast talking is strangely familiar.
Schrock Innovations. If you want a fast sandwich, don't go there. But if you want your computer fixed and back on your desk fast, give them a call or visit their website at SchrockInnovations.com. Compute This Pro Tip 178. Those little life-saving surge protector strips are vital to your computer's health and should be used whenever possible, even for laptops. As computers get smaller and more powerful, they're also becoming more sensitive to dirty power, and your power is a lot dirtier than you might think. Even if you have a whole home surge protection, most power surges are generated within your own home. If you've ever vacuumed and seen the lights get dimmer and brighter, you created a surge. Surge protectors can only absorb so much energy measured in joules. When that capacity is exhausted, your surge protector becomes a glorified extension cord and needs to be replaced. You should always look for surge protectors that give audible alerts when they're no longer able to protect your equipment. Schrock recommends these because the lights on most strips are just power lights and they don't tell you when it's time to replace the unit. If in doubt, replace your surge protectors annually to keep your expensive TVs, computers, and other electronic equipment safe. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
All right, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with 4 locations to help you out when your computer's having trouble, or if you're interested in checking out the new Ultimate Upgrade Sale that is from the calendar perspective, it's about 50% over. From the inventory perspective, I mentioned earlier, we're kind of hand to mouth. So it's over when we can't get them anymore. But right now, we have 4 locations. Of course, the original in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. In Omaha, 168th and Burke, across the street from the Village Point Mall. In Papillion, 84th and Highway 370 in Midlands Place Shopping Center. It's just right beside Shadow Lake Mall there, basically. And also, the newest baby Schrock, 9500 University Avenue in West Des Moines. That shop is killing it. I have to tell you, Shelly, Ryan, the whole team there, Parker, they're just absolutely killing it. The reception that we have received in Iowa, we couldn't have asked for anything better. Opening a new store in the middle of a pandemic, we expected it to be a lot harder, a lot harder than it is. I can't imagine what it's going to be like when we actually get through this to the point where everyone's vaccinated and feels safe going out and everything. It's going to be absolutely spectacular. The Ultimate Upgrade Sale right now that's going on at Schrock is a unique thing that we do every spring, where you can trade in your old, tired, worn-out computer, something that it doesn't make sense to upgrade, something that it doesn't make sense to work on because it's just so old or so far gone. you can get some final value out of it by trading it in, basically to get a cheaper replacement computer. The Ultimate Upgrade is priced at $499, and it's your choice of a laptop or a desktop computer. And you can check them both out on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. But basically, you trade something in, you spend the $499, and you get a brand new computer. We can transfer your files. Specifically, if you guys are buying the Ultimate Upgrade laptop, which I know a lot of you are, I want to remind everybody, this laptop has an internal backup option that we can add for only $50. So literally, it's internal, no external hard drives for backup. We can add another hard drive inside the computer for $50 for you to back up your data to. And you don't even have to do the backups. It's an automated system. It's beautiful. I'm frankly shocked that more people are not choosing to add that option for $50. We priced it about as low as you could possibly price it. And so, and I think it might be because when I call customers back from the Papillion Service Center saying, hey, building your computer, just going over the build with you, make sure everything is right. By the way, you sure you don't want the backup? And customers are like, maybe I should get that. So I'm wondering if maybe the guys in the stores aren't like telling everybody about it. I'm not sure. So we're going to talk about that in our meeting tomorrow. But when I'm telling people about it, everyone's like, yeah, I want that. So if you're getting an Ultimate Upgrade laptop or if you've already received yours, give us a call in the service center and we can go ahead and get that backup set up for you. Like I said, it's only $50 for the backup. It's a 64 gig internal backup. It's locked in at 64 gigs, but it's an internal backup so you don't have to carry around external hard drives anymore. It's really, really nice. So check that out, SchrockInnovations.com. Click on Shop and Specials, and you can grab yours there while supplies last. 888-250-2091. Let's jump into these batteries things real quick here, guys. Stay on the line with us, Gary. I'm going to get to you here in the next segment. So if you can stay on the line, I appreciate it. I know you're there. But I promised everyone I'd get the battery thing going, and I want to make sure we do this. So when it comes to lithium-ion batteries, these are the batteries that power everything from your laptops to your cell phones to your electric cars. They're all powered by lithium-ion. So forget anything you know about nickel-cadmium batteries or any of the others. Lithium-ion is the way that things work. Now, one of the cool things about lithium-ion batteries is they do not have a memory effect. Or if the engineers among us might argue, yes, Mr. Schrock, they do have a memory effect. The memory effect is so minor as to be inconsequential. So for all intents and purposes, it's not like the old nickel-cadmium batteries where if you charge them up halfway and then started using it because you're a little kid and you have a remote control car and you got it for Christmas and your parents didn't charge the batteries before you opened it. So you charge the batteries and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're like, oh, it's been long enough. And you put the batteries in the car and you drive it around. If you only charge the batteries to 50%, now they don't charge past 50% anymore. Lithium-ion doesn't do that. So you can literally run it all the way up, all the way down, do anything you need to use your device. But there are some things that can kill batteries, and I can tell you from experience that cold is one of them. I camp with my scouts, and I take my phone with me when I camp, and sometimes I take my laptop with me too, because while they're doing merit badge stuff or other things, I can get some work done. Well, you know what happened? My cell phone, when it got really cold out, I had it on a portable charger, and it got really cold out, and overnight my battery swelled inside my cell phone and popped my screen off the front of my phone. Overnight. My laptop, this very HP laptop was my primary laptop a few years back. It's one of the holiday special laptops from back in the day. And the battery swelled to the point where it pushed the palm rest up so far I couldn't click the mouse. If you're having trouble clicking your touchpad, it's because your battery is swelling inside your computer and it needs to be replaced. Again, it was cold. So avoid temperature extremes. That's easy to do with laptops. That's easy to do with cell phones. What about your electric vehicles, though? What if you don't garage your Tesla or your Prius? Well, they make battery warmers to keep them warm in the winter, and they have battery cooling systems to cool them in the summer. When you see cars spontaneously catching on fire because of their batteries, it's usually a thermal problem. It's usually hot or cold, swelling and bursting. So basically avoid hot and cold temperatures. That's the number one biggest thing you can do. Don't buy cheap batteries, guys. Lithium ion does not mean lithium ion. There are all kinds of different types of material that can go into lithium ion batteries. The technology is the same, but it's kind of like you can buy all different kinds of cars, but some cars are made better than others, you know? When you buy a lithium ion battery, the thing that kills it over time is internal corrosion. Like there's leads, and I'm not going to get super technical, leads, contacts, things like that. They get like a buildup or a residue on them and they stop working. Also physical damage. And they just wear out. Well, some batteries, the cheaper ones, will wear out faster than the nice ones because of the type of lithium-ion battery that's used. So if you're buying a battery, don't always select the cheapest straight out of Asia battery you can find, because usually those are going to be the ones that aren't very good. Make sure you pick a reputable brand for your battery. Don't use rapid chargers unless you absolutely need to. Rapid chargers actually are not good for your battery. They charge it quick, but it takes a long-term toll on the battery. Wireless charging is nice because obviously there's no wires, but it's a slower charge. So you can hook your rapid charger up to a wireless thing. It'll charge the phone or whatever just fine. And then if you need a quick charge, you can pull the cable out, stick it right in the phone, and do a rapid charge. That's how I run my phone. Also, don't leave fully charged batteries in storage. And when I say storage, I mean 2 months or longer. If you charge them full and put them in storage, it actually damages the battery as they wear down. So don't do that if you can help doing that. You want the batteries at about 20% charge if you're going to do a long-term storage. All right. Now, also, this is a big one for me because I am the battery Nazi in the house, right? I'm like, okay, everything will be charged. Don't leave your devices on the charger when they're 100% charged. Don't leave them trickle charging. Modern, really nice devices, iPhones, high-end Samsung phones, things like that, they're going to be just fine. Cheaper computers, cheaper tablets, cheaper phones are not going to be just fine. Your kid's hoverboard made in China ain't going to be just fine. Don't leave those lithium-ion batteries charging all the time. When they're fully charged, unplug them from the charger and let them sit. All right, hope that helps you out with your batteries, guys. That will help extend the life of your batteries and get you more time out of them. All lithium-ion batteries eventually do fail, so it's just a matter of time. Most of the time they fail within 2 years. Even when you do everything right, you've maybe 18 months if you do everything wrong. So you're buying about 6 months additional time with your battery if you treat it properly. 888-250-2091. We're going to take a quick break here, guys. When we come back from the break, Gary, I promise you're first up. First thing when we come back next on Compute This.
Today's fragile computers need maintenance more than ever. Your computer needs a maintenance checkup every 6 months to last beyond its 18-month expected lifespan. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. No end in sight or solutions concerning the surge of illegals crossing over the southern border.
And with space running out to hold people, Fox has learned officials may choose to release some migrants into the country without a court date for asylum hearings. Now, this idea is reportedly under consideration in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. Not official yet, but there's thought that this could give us an idea of the challenges being faced on the ground. Facilities in the region, they are said to be completely overwhelmed.
Fox's Mark Meredith, the Democratic mayor of Del Rio, Texas, says he's appealed for help from the feds with the crush of illegals and asylum seekers in his border town, but
it feels like it's falling on deaf ears. It definitely feels that way because unlike those in federal positions in Washington, D.C., they have time. I don't have time.
Bruno Lozano on Fox. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
We will see more clouds around today, but staying windy and warm. Highs in the mid-60s with wind gusts 40 to 45 miles per hour at times. Rain showers move in tonight with 1 to 3 inches of rain possible tonight through Wednesday morning. With Omaha's most accurate forecast, I'm 6 News First Alert meteorologist Mallory Schnell on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. I hope everybody got their potty breaks. Winston got his Dunkin' Donuts. He's good to go now. Winston is the unofficial audio technician of the Schrock Innovations radio program, and the one morning my audio levels are too low, Winston's at the donut shop. What's up with that, Winston? I hope you saved one for me. I like the cinnamon twists. All right, 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program. As promised, Gary, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for hanging on the line. I genuinely appreciate it. What can I do for you on Compute This today?
Yeah, good morning. You know, those Windows Home 10 license keys normally sell for $110 to $120.
Oh, yeah.
But you can go online and get them for like $12. Will that really work?
Short answer is no. So here's the deal. The codes that you buy online, we used to, if we needed a code in a hurry, like we order ours from a Microsoft licensed distributor. We order them like 40, 50 at a time to get basically to try to get it down to $100 a license. Because literally Windows 10 is stupid. It is like 25% of the cost of the ultimate upgrade is Windows 10. Just that one little sticker. So it's really expensive. So anytime we can save money on that. So we looked into, we buy one on Amazon. This one is, $50. It's a lot cheaper. Why is it $50? Well, maybe they got a bunch they're closing out. I don't know. So we order them and they would work for a little while. And then what ended up happening is the computers would come back. See, the keys were fake. So what companies can do is you can say, I'm a company and I want to buy a volume license. Means I want to get a lot of computers licensed on Windows 10 and I don't want to have to screw around with stickers and everything else. And so Microsoft will give you a volume license. They'll give you like a sheet of paper that's got 1,000 keys on it and charge you a lower price. Well, once you have those volume license numbers, these scammers go and they have stickers and discs made and printed because they're just made in Asia. Like you can go hire the same factory to make you the same things. They look just like the real ones. The stickers have the holograms on them. They look exactly the same. So you put you get your license, you install Windows, everything works great. You type in the code and it activates, and you're like, I'm a man, I'm the boss because I saved $50. Put the sticker on your computer and you're computing away, and then a month later, all of a sudden, your computer deactivates. That's because somebody else bought one from that guy that had the same code on it that yours did. And they typed the code in and it knocked it out. So you're like, well, hey, my code stopped working. So you get on the line with Microsoft, and Microsoft says, okay, well, if you tie it to a Microsoft account, we'll reactivate it. Unless the other guy already tied his to a Microsoft account. And then once that's done, it's game over. And so eventually you're going to get burnt. And it was not a reliable method. So then we said, well, we can't buy the $50 ones anymore. But what about these that are $110 on Amazon? I need a key to finish a new build. This customer is in a hurry. We have a gentleman that operates a lot of convenience stores in the Omaha metro area. And he buys all of his computers through us. And so he needs 32-bit Windows 10 on everything. So we don't carry those. Who wants 32-bit? So, we don't carry those in stock. We have to order them. When we go to order them, so we can get this one from Amazon. We order it in because it'll get here in 2 days, and this guy really needs the computer, so we'll get it built fast. And we get the license in, and it doesn't work. And we paid $150 for that one. So the scammers literally cover every price point. They say that they're Microsoft when they're not. Sometimes they're Microfoft, F-O-F-T. If you don't look real close, you might think that says Microsoft, and then you end up buying a key that's no good. So I would encourage you, the only place that consumers can reliably buy Windows 10 license keys that I have found is Newegg.com. because Newegg literally is an authorized distributor for Microsoft. You will pay the $120 per license key, but I mean they're good keys. They're legit keys. So that's literally the only place online that I've ever found that I would reliably buy a key from the internet. And of course, we buy all of our keys from a distributor in a Microsoft authorized distributor in California. So all of our keys are legitimate to go on our computers because we don't want customers calling us back 6 months later because their computer deactivated and they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. I do have a retail license key on my regular computer. If I build a new one, I can transfer that one to the new build, can't I?
No, unfortunately, you can't. They're actually tied to the motherboard. So if you even replace the motherboard in that old computer, you can't continue to use that license. So what's going to happen is if you tried to type in the code from that license on the other computer, it may activate. You could try as long as it's similar. If you're switching from an AMD chip to an Intel chip, it's not going to work. If you're switching graphics card chips, it's not going to work. If the computers are very similar, sometimes you can get away with it. It doesn't mean it's legitimate or okay with Microsoft. But Microsoft is getting really stringent about activating computers and making sure that once they're activated, that if the hardware changes, if the fingerprint of the computer changes, they will tolerate so many changes. And then after that, they deactivate your license. And then you have to, literally chat with a guy in India because, I mean, they're the experts on making sure you're not stealing from Microsoft to get it reactivated. And then you can only do that once. So unfortunately, you can't move like a key off of an old, OEM key like an HP or a Dell onto some new build that you did because they'll detect it's not an HP or a Dell.
Okay.
Yep, they got
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Have a great afternoon. Thanks for calling the program. It's that easy, folks. 888-250-2091. Speaking of hardware, AMD has new processors that are being released, processors for professionals, you see. So right now, they're not out to the public yet, but we're starting to see the benchmarks released by AMD. Now, keep in mind, these are numbers released by AMD. AMD historically has been very accurate in what they report in their numbers. Intel is known for fudging their numbers a little bit to make things look a little bit better than they might be. AMD, I'm not saying that they're above reproach. I'm just saying that usually this stuff is pretty close to accurate. But they're following the same names. They're the Ryzen series chips, Ryzen 3, Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7. And these chips, you've heard of the 5000 series. Those are the current generation Ryzen processors that are impossible to find anywhere. Even I can't get them unless you want to spend $900 for a chip, which is stupid for a Ryzen 3 chip especially. These are the Ryzen Pro 5000 series. The Pro series are specifically designed for computers that are going to be in a productivity environment. So think an office, or home office. These processors are faster at running Microsoft Office, 40% faster. Now, I guess I've never really had a speed issue with my Microsoft Office. Like if it takes Word a second and a half to open, I'm okay with that. But these processors cut that delay even further. The other thing that they use to test it, which is something we've done a lot of here recently, is Zoom sessions. This processor can simultaneously run a 49 participant Zoom call. If you've ever tried to get a Zoom call over a few dozen people, you realize that you really need a workhorse of a computer to do that. You need a Venture. You need a Galant to do that. You need a powerful processor. Well, this thing can run a 50-person Zoom session, which is just nuts. Also, it's going to be a best-in-class processor for remote productivity because the new mobile chips get up to 17 and a half hours on battery life. It's insane. AMD is the only company that's making any attempt to counter Intel's M1 processors right now. In fact, I saw an article, and I'll talk about this during the Aftershock. You remember the PC has a virus, the cool dude, right? He's shilling for Intel now. So and he's dissing Macs. He's like, oh, they don't want those M1 Macs. Those are awful. You want the quality of an Intel processor. And, but before that, he was shilling for Huawei. So, yeah, whoever's got the green is who he speaks for. But, there's nothing new there. Nothing new under the sun, apparently. 888-250-2091. Dale, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
I was wondering, with all the technology we have today, why can't they come out with a modular laptop?
Yeah, that's a great question. Number one, there's no incentive to do that because the manufacturers that make laptops sell computers. They don't sell parts. And so the fact that just look at what's happening with desktops. And we've done this in the past on Facebook where we've showed you a picture of a brand new HP that came in on our bench for a data transfer, and everything is soldered down to the motherboard. There's no ports, there's no expansion slots, no memory slots, nothing. You can't add a thing to that computer. And it runs off a laptop power adapter. What they've done is they've literally taken a laptop motherboard and stuck it in a desktop. So the challenge is, even your HP, Dell, I mean, certainly you can purchase higher end models that have some upgradability, but if you're looking for entry-level consumer-grade computers, what most people are looking for, those computers are not upgradable anymore at all. They're literally laptops inside of a big box of air. And they sell you a new one every 18 months. That's the plan. So why would they make them upgradable? Because it just costs more money. Because if all the parts are baked onto the board, it actually is cheaper to make, whereas opposed to buying separate parts from separate places and then paying an assembler to assemble the pieces together. It makes a much cheaper computer to just have it all built on one board. Unfortunately, it kills the upgradability, which is why we created the modular concept for desktops. So the next question is, why don't we just make a modular laptop, right? Well,
correct.
We would need to make a lot of them. We would need to make like 1 million of them. I'm
sure you would have a market for it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there would, but the challenge here is, number one, let's just say for the sake of discussion, if we made 1 million laptops, we could make them for $400 a piece. That's $4 million. That's before we've done any marketing or expanded or added locations in other states or set up a mail order program or anything like that. We're $4 million deep. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, are there things that we can do that are more beneficial to our customers in the short run? So in the meantime, what we do is we take the Asus laptops, for example. The Asus laptops are the unibodies that we use in all of our laptops that we build. And we pick them because Asus makes the hardware. They make the boards that go into everything. They're all made in the same factory. So we pick the Asus laptop so that we can have something that's upgradable. We're going to add memory to it. We're going to change out the hard drive for a super fast solid state hard drive, an M.2 solid state. We're going to make all these changes to the computer so that there's something different than they were when they came to us. And that's about as close to a modular computer as you can get, unfortunately. The other problem that you would have is if the parts were interchangeable, the laptops would be very heavy and very thick. Two things that most people don't really want to have right now. Thank you for the call, Dale. I really appreciate it. Maybe someday we'll look at it, but I think a more productive way to do this would be laptops as a service, where you could just trade in your laptop when you're done with it or it's worn out and get a new one and not have to pay for a new laptop. Laptop as a service, I think that's where things are going eventually. All right, Kurt, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today, Kurt?
Well, listen to your answer there about parts. I suppose you'll tell me the same thing about batteries. I had a Microsoft Surface Pro a couple of years ago, and I called one of your service centers to see if I could get the battery exchanged in it, a new battery in it, and I was told it was really difficult to do. What's the best laptops or mobile devices to use to where you can replace the battery easily when they're done, or are most of them tough? Like they are, like you just mentioned with the parts.
Yeah, all of them are more difficult than they used to be. Back in my day, you could just unsnap the battery off the back of the computer, snap a new one on. Remember when cell phone batteries came off? Where, like, if you were in the mafia, you had to take the battery out of your phone before you went into the secret mafioso meeting so that the feds couldn't listen in. Well, now all the batteries are internal on phones. You can't replace them without taking the screen off, and you break the screen and all this other stuff. Same thing with laptops. We have to completely disassemble laptops now to get to the battery. And then once inside, the battery is screwed down with about 4 screws. There's a bunch of cables you have to route, and then there's a clip. So the battery, once you get inside the laptop, is not hard to replace. Mac batteries, just to make life fun, inside of a Mac, you open up the Mac, because we do work on them all the time, and their batteries go bad like any other lithium-ion battery. We open up the Mac, and they not only they don't have screws. They don't do screws, but the wires are terrible. You have to take half the thing apart to get to the battery, and then they glue the battery down. Like, literally, we have to sit there with a heat gun and a putty knife and then free the battery from the bottom of the computer. And the whole time you're like, don't these things explode if you bend them? Why am I bending this? With a heat gun in one hand, to avoid extreme temperatures, Thor said, as he holds a heat gun and heats up the battery to remove it. So unfortunately, the batteries in laptops have to be removed that are internal, and so they're a little more difficult to do. So there's a little bit of labor involved. And there's not really a laptop out there right now that offers a removable battery unless you go up into the gaming line. Gaming laptops do have removable batteries because there's just no room inside the computer to hold the battery. But then you're going to spend, $1,800 on a laptop. It's going to be very heavy. It's going to run very hot. It's going to be very noisy. It's not going to be the slim, sexy, light experience that people want to have with a laptop that they use at home right now. Unless you're gaming on it, then you're going to love it. Does that answer the question for you, Kurt?
Yeah, it sure does. Thanks.
All right. Hey, thank you for your call today. I appreciate it. Got you in on the program here, and we got you in on the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate as well. 888-250-2091. If you haven't already, feel free to join the discussion on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. While we live stream, we're all together. All of our comments show up together. While we're in the live stream, there's no censorship. There's no filtering the feed. There's nothing. We're all one big happy Schrockville family. And then after the show, whether or not you see the program ever aired in the past, that's completely up to Facebook. But while we're together, we're having a good time over here. 50-person Zoom session sounds like a nightmare. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, golly. There's so much good stuff going on here on Facebook right now. So check it out, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. All right, we're going to take our final break of the program. Greg, stay on the line. Your call is coming up next. Also, Netflix is going full-on kindergartner. They aren't sharing. They don't want you to share. They're going to throw their blocks, pick up their ball, and go home. We're going to tell you what's going on with your login screen coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed semantic endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the special section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. And now Compute This Pro tip number 373. Everyone knows we're supposed to back up our computers and then check those backups periodically to make sure they're working. So why don't most people do it? Lots of people have different ideas about what backing up means. Is it copying files to a flash drive? Is it using a fancy backup program? And how do you know it's working anyway? Windows makes backups easy through free software that's already on your computer. Open your control panels and click Update and Security. Select Backup and choose from all of the available options to get a regular, reliable checkup. You'll need something to back up to, like a Schrock modular storage device or some other backup hard drive. Backups usually run once a week, but you can always change the frequency. The best part is that if your backup ever fails, you'll see a notification in the lower right corner by your clock telling you something's up. Backing up your important data has never been easier, so take a moment to back up your computer today. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, final segment of the program. It's been an hour already. Can you believe that? But don't worry. We have another little show that comes on after this one. It's called The Aftershock. And what we do during that program, it's streamed live on Facebook, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. We end this program, this live stream. We start another one, so make sure you join in for that one. We'll give you the latest updates on cryptocurrency because apparently everybody wants to hear about it. I promise I will get around to making a Bitcoin special episode or something to air. I just haven't had time the last week. We got a new puppy this week, okay? It's been rough. Get it? Rough. Oh, I'm so funny. Dad jokes are all around. All right, let's jump into those phones. Greg, save me, please. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Hey, Thor.
Good morning.
Thank you for taking my call.
No worries.
Well, you got a great wonderful company, man, and this is a great educational program. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
The iPhone has a new update, and if you talked about this earlier, forgive me. You think it's safe up? You go ahead and do it.
Yeah, all the version upgrades that are out right now are safe. I haven't had any reports. My wife hasn't been having any problems with the update for her phone. So right now they look pretty good. Of course, I never encourage people to jump out and grab the update the day it's released unless there's some security reason to do that. And I don't see there's no huge security, 0-day vulnerability that's being patched or anything here. So there's nothing wrong with waiting a week and making sure that everything is working well for your friends and neighbors first.
Yeah,
it's the let the pioneers take the arrows approach. Can you say that kind of stuff anymore? Is that cancelable? Let the pioneers take the arrows.
Great point. Oh my gosh!
You said point. Can't say point. Can't say point.
Oh.
Oh, isn't it ridiculous? Isn't it ridiculous?
Oh,
and then I just saw
culture.
I saw on the TV up here that who was the singer? Was it Bieber? Justin Bieber quoted some Martin Luther King speech words in one of his songs, and now he's being canceled. It's like, what? Like it wasn't
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, he wasn't making fun of him. He was espousing his message, and he's being canceled over that. And apparently Coldplay has done this too in the past, I've been told. So they're probably next. So watch out on that one. If you might want to buy Coldplay albums while you can still get them before it may go full on Dr. Seuss. They may go up to like $4,000 a piece on eBay. You could make a killing.
Oh my
Get some
God.
Coldplay CDs laying around. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would go ahead and you could do the update, Greg, or you could give it a couple days and just kind of wait around a little bit and see if anybody has problems. But it should be good to go.
Thank you, my friend. God bless you.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate the save there. Have a great afternoon. All right. Last caller of the show, Robert. Welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Yes, Mr. Schrock. First of all, your wife didn't pay me to say this, but I want to tell you have a very educational show, and you've saved me a lot of money because when the library closed last spring, I considered buying a junker out at Walmart, and when I saw what they had out there, I go, nope. We're going to come out to see you, and then when I came out to see you, say we're fresh out because everybody's working at home.
Yeah, it was
so anyway,
rough.
I've always learned a lot by tuning into your show.
Well, thank you very much, Robert. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, and honestly, it was one of those things where the lovely Kimberly last week told me, we don't really do any educational segment pieces anymore. Customers are calling in with more complex problems now, and I feel like there's a lot of new listeners coming in that are like, whew, this show is like way over my head. And so I was like, let's introduce this back to basics segment. Let's get some of these basic things back in. So if you guys have suggestions, I had to think a long time. I was like, what questions do I get in the service center all the time? Maybe next week's segment could be called "No, It's Not the Microsoft Man." Don't let him in the computer. Because I get that question every week too. Is like, Microsoft called me. No, Microsoft. I have one customer who is adamantly angry with me because she insists that Microsoft called her and it was really Microsoft, and they told her that her brand new computer was made in 2016, or 2015, before Windows 10 was available. That it was a Windows 7 computer that was loaded with Windows 10 after the fact and sold to her used. And we're like, no, we don't sell computers from 2015. No, but she insisted that was the case. She wanted to return it. She was outraged. She expected better from us. And then literally like twice I've had interactions with her, and I'm like, that wasn't Microsoft. And she goes, what makes you think it wasn't Microsoft? Microsoft doesn't call people. Seriously, they don't. They don't pick up the phone and call you. They don't. There's never a virus on your IP address. It's crazy. But thank you very much for the call, Robert. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And Robert, you or if anyone else listening has any suggestions for educational segments, things you want to hear about on the program, please feel free to post a comment over at SchrockInnovations.com. Facebook.com/SchrockInnovations. You can post it right in the live stream right now, and I'll be happy to take a look at it. Also, if you would rather email them to me, you can go to our website and send us an email. I do get copies of those emails. I don't always answer them because there's a lot of emails, but I like to keep my eyes on things, if you know what I mean. make sure that that everyone's getting the service that they want. I was driving away from the Papillion Service Center last night. Had to pick up the tall ladder from the shop because we had to take down the Christmas lights. And I'm driving away, and I see Trenton walking out the door carrying out a computer for a customer. And I was giving him thumbs up through the window. He didn't see me, but I was like, yes, 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 that's perfect. Thank you. I wasn't even there watching him, and he did it. I love it. So great job, Trenton, over at the Service Center. Today's winner, $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate is Kurt. Oh, wait, not applicable for phone number. I can't give it to Kurt because I can't call Kurt. I got to draw again. Has this ever happened in the history of Compute This? Greg. Congratulations, Greg. You've got yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Kurt says you're welcome. Greg says thank you. And it's good to go. All right, so we're going to be getting on the Aftershock here soon, right after the program ends, guys, as I mentioned. So be thinking if there's anything you want to talk about on the Aftershock, be sure to let me know. You can post a comment here in the Facebook chat. We can get that going for you there. We've had a lot of interest in cryptocurrencies, guys, and Bitcoin did hit a new all-time high last week. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Pulled back a little bit after that, but there's some really interesting things going on. I hear that there is a new tax team, a new tax program at the IRS, codename Hidden Treasure, that is coming after people that are playing around with Bitcoin. So we're going to talk to you about the Hidden Treasure team, let you know what's going on there from the IRS's perspective. Also, I don't give stock tips because you really don't want me to be a stock trader. It doesn't work well. But I can give you some insights into what I think is going on in the market right now. Food prices, food inflation is getting kind of stupid. But good news for farmers is that a lot of commodity prices, corn, soybeans, wheat, prices are going up. Demand is going up. And so as a result, the only problem is transport. We can't get the stuff moved anywhere. All right. Is my clock off over here? Are we good? Okay, as I'm looking up there, and it's like a minute past, and I'm looking over here, and I got a minute, and I don't hear music, and I'm like, I'm just talking, and I could just be like, you know what? I own the station now. It's the Schrock station. Yay! Well, who's on next? It's Schrock. Who's on after that? It's still Schrock. It's amazing. Oh, speaking of radio, guys, I don't know. Maybe you can tell me here, but I understand that Dan Bongino is taking over Rush Limbaugh's spot. Is he going to, and I heard he's only going to air in the big markets, though. Not yet in Omaha? Okay, and I'm not sure, probably not Des Moines yet either then on their iHeart station. But Dan Bongino, he'll be coming, though, right, eventually? Possibly, maybe, schmaybe. All right, so anyway, if you don't know who Dan Bongino is, take a look. I think they picked the right guy for this. No one can fill Rush Limbaugh's shoes, but Dan Bongino can certainly make a run at it. He's a good guy. All right, we'll see you all again next weekend, and we'll talk to you next coming up in the Aftershock. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great week.
This is News Radio 1110 KFAB Omaha. Online at kfab.com. On your phone with the